What's up, guys? Good morning. Today we're going to be working on the MT09. This is 2021. I opted out of the SP mainly because I don't really track ride or do anything too aggressive. So I kind of felt that the upgraded suspension, at least for me, was not really necessary. Especially since I have my 2018 Yamaha R1 here. I just wanted something a little more comfortable for longer rides, a little bit easier on the back. And so I ended up getting this beautiful MT09 2021 from Seminole Power Sports here in Sanford, Florida, which is right next to Orlando, about a good 15 minutes away. And yeah, so I picked this baby up. Obviously matching colors, because that's just the way I love to do things. And so far it is coming around pretty good. I got hooked up this week with TST Industries. Most of you guys know them. You've heard of them. They're an amazing shop here as well locally in Orlando. So we were able to get the Womet shorty levers. They're even branded with the the TST insignia, which is really cool. They also gave me these amazing running LED turn lights that they have in their inventory. I was able to pick up as well. And some Womet frame sliders to go along with it. So this puppy is coming. Oh, there's my pretty lady. So yeah, these are the CGR turn signals. I've had those actually a while. I had those at one time on the R1, but did not really like the way it rode with those, so I had them sitting around. So put to good use. Here's some more frame sliders here. And so far so good. But today we are installing the Akrapovic race system exhaust, which I have yet to open up. So if you bear with me, we're gonna dig into this puppy a little more and see what's going on. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's see what's in the box so far. Super excited to get this installed. Can't wait to hear what this puppy sounds like. I am gonna do a cold start before and after, so you guys can hear it. For those that are just wanting to see what the exhaust sounds like, I will be doing that here shortly as well, once I get done doing this install. So far, all right, there you go. We have the headers. I will open those up here in a minute. We also have the bracket here for the exhaust, carbon fiber. I wish they would have packaged this a little differently, but that's okay. No scratches or anything on it. That's good. Put this up here for now. This is the, I believe, the mid pipe right here. Very nice. Packaged pretty well. This is the bracket that's gonna mount the slip-on. It's gonna go just on the right side of the bike. I think it hangs off of the one of the holes for the rear peg, so we'll see. I haven't got that far yet. And some instructions, some paperwork. Cable in here. I don't know what this is for. Guess we'll find out. Yes, sir. Some Loctite it looks like. Some warranty information. This could be the instruction manual on how to do this. So that's cool. And last but not least, let's get this puppy open. Where I put that razor blade at. And here we go. Ooh. So far, I love it. Here is the Akrapovic exhaust. Nice logo here. Everything seems to be in place. This is just a sticker, which I thought would be like some type of aluminum badging, but it's just a sticker, but still nice sticker. It still has the baffle, I believe, inside. Yes, it does. And I like this right here. This product does not meet emissions compliance requirements for street or highway use. So yeah, we're gonna use this on the highway for sure. So there you go. All right, guys, stand by. We'll get this puppy installed little by little, and I'll do the before and after cold start. Alright, so step one says to this little I think it's a 10 millimeter bolt right here. That's the bracket actually for the radiator. So I believe what that's going to do is move this radiator a little bit forward so you could actually get a ratchet in here, because these headers are actually behind the radiator. Unlike the previous year, they were actually accessible fairly easy. But I'm gonna see if I can put this camera in here. It's really hard to see it, but you see where my ratchet is, which is this here. That screw is actually just past the first header, just a little bit above it. And so I have this little kind of tilt. Here, let me pull it. Let's see if I can pull it out. I'm actually using this kind of, this kind of setup here. This little pivoting, and it is a 10 millimeter. So I'm going to use this to back it out, and that should do the trick. But I saw in a previous video where a guy did it, and I could not see that screw. But I don't even know if you can see it maybe this way. Yeah, it's kind of hard, but it's up in there. It's just, like I said, it's basically where my finger's at. It is right here. So you got the bolt for this header, the bolts on this right here for this one, and then it's just right above it. And it's pretty clear. You just have to look through this here and kind of put your head down. If you had a stand, it'd probably be easier. And yeah, it's basically right there. So we'll do that first. Okay, step 2 is the oxygen sensor, which is right here. Should be very simple to get to. I believe it's this 17 millimeter. Wow, that came off pretty easy. So yeah, take this off and we will go from there. All right, next step is to remove all the bolts from the headers. So I'm just gonna keep using the same tool. It's kind of convenient. And just remove all 6 of those bolts. So I'm gonna start from this side and work my way over. Real quick, just so y'all know, these tools are not the greatest. I mean, this little pivot right here that I have, sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand, but this little pivot thing I have here, I mean, this is like an old Craftsman set. Man, I got this since, I kid you not, I was probably like 20 years old. It was a gift for my birthday, and I've had it for a long time. So, but yeah, this is just Husky parts right here. So shout out to Husky for making some pretty affordable parts, tools, man. I got this whole kit at Home Depot for like 15 bucks. And it comes with like every size and every pivot. I have more down here, like this one, these little extensions. I mean, shout out to Husky, man. They make good stuff, cheap, affordable. So, when you're just like a bro mechanic, I'm not certified or anything. It just makes it easy. All right, next step. Says to take these 2 out here, and that's what I'm gonna do. So we'll keep proceeding. This stuff is really not hard, man. Just some common sense, you know. If you don't think you can tackle it, don't do it. But if you take your time, it's actually pretty simple. So that's this one here. Okay, there's another one on the other side. Let's go do that. All right, guys, on this one, it's actually about just under the kickstand, and it's under the kickstand sensor. So what I'm going to use is just a regular wrench to do this one, because there's really not enough space for a socket here. So just a little insider tip. All right, guys, once you take that out, notice this is going to start to come loose and fall. So you may want to be careful just so you don't jack anything up, but this is ready to come out. So it's kind of just hanging barely by the screws here. So just in case, just be aware, once you take that screw out, it's going to fall. All right, here's another. You see those gold rings that are there? Except this one's missing because I have it in my hand. These are like super important, so do not lose these. And one side is pretty flat, and the other side is kind of indented in. The indented inside is going to face outwards. The flat is going to go flush with the engine casing, and the indented side, which I know this GoPro's hard. Don't look at my thumb. I jacked that up a while back. But anyway, the indented side is going to stick outwards. I'm just going to leave this on the floor for now because this one just keeps falling out for whatever reason. So do not lose these. Super important. You're going to need these. All right, so there is the exhaust. It just dropped down pretty easy once I unscrewed that. It is heavy. I watched another YouTube video where the guy did a pretty decent job, and this thing's at least 20 pounds, man. I have no idea, but it is, I mean, it's pretty heavy. Yeah, so this puppy weighs 15.6 pounds. I mean, this is a really shitty scale, but anyway, it just disappeared. 15.6 pounds. All right, guys, next on the instructions, you gotta take this housing out. This is just like a radiator cover. All the light connection is actually in here, so for those guys that are trying to change your lights out, you have to take this piece off. So there's 2 screws in here. Now they're not really screws, they're those like screwed kind of plasticky tabs that you just back out very slow, and it's like a little clip. Do not strip those, and do not manhandle those. Those are not regular screws, they're plastic, real flimsy plastic screws. So be careful with that. And then there's 2 Allen keys on this side. I want to say it's a 5. Nope. I don't want to say that now. It is a 4. Yeah. So it's a 4. So yeah, you're gonna take this one off. You're gonna take this one off. I got this frame slider in the way. I doubt I have to remove it, but nope, I got plenty of. Well, I believe so. How tight that is there. If not, I just remove the frame slider. It's not a big deal. And then I can take that out. So let's continue. So remember, careful on the other side. All right. So like I said, here's your light connections here if you're doing that, but we're not doing that right now. This is the clip that I'm talking about. This is for the oxygen sensor. It's held up with a couple tie wraps. Not a big deal. We'll just cut this, remove it, and we will replace it with the factory one that with the replacement that they sent us from Akrapovic. And so yeah, so tie wrap here, tie wrap here. It's actually inside this little thing here, and then just unclip, and we'll replace it with the new one. Okay guys, real quick, I know this video camera is not the greatest, but before you go pushing these little indentures in, thinking it's gonna pop this puppy out, it is not. Okay, the actual clip is in the inside of this. So what I did was I just stuck a little Allen key in there. Sorry for the bad video. And I just kind of pull out. And then once you do that, you should be able to just, well, you pull this out, and then this little tab here, you just, push it this way, and it should just be able to pull down. Alright guys, so once you have that plugged in, it's telling you to wrap it up you know, take this cable that it comes with, the Akrapovic new extension cable for the oxygen sensor. It's telling you to kind of go through here, come through this frame, come behind this plate, and kind of bring it here. So I just have it right now just kind of sitting here until later, and we will figure out the best way to route that. So, all right guys, next step is to remove these two bolts, and that's going to hold the bracket that's going to come out here. So let's go ahead and do that. That is just a 6mm Allen key. I'm going to use it with a socket adapter. I like these better because they do have Loctite in these most of the time, so it's kind of a pain. So just remove those two and we should be good. Alright guys, there is a spacer here that's behind this. You're going to need to keep this in play, so that way this all is lined up flat. The bracket's actually going to go in between this and these and this area here, so that's why you cannot lose this spacer. Makes it so the bracket stays flat. Now Akrapovic does supply some type of Loctite. I'm not saying I don't trust them, but I really like the brand, you know, Loctite, the blue removable Loctite. It's the 242. They call it thread locker, but we all know it as the brand name Loctite. So anyway, I'm going to use the removable thread locker. It's blue. I like it. Do not use the red. Even though this is in a red bottle, it is not the red. If you put the red, and it will say red on there where it says blue, you will be screwed. That is just the way it's going to be. I actually had a Sportster where someone used some red Loctite with the elements of weather, just water and stuff. It actually broke inside the frame, and it took me 2 days to drill out a hole like that just so I can replace an OEM bolt. So do not use the red Loctite. Stick with the blue, and you should be good. So, oh, they also provide a 40, I guess a 40T new bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and use these. It is much easier to take it off with that versus an Allen key. And the longer ones are for obviously the right side of the bike, and the shorter ones are for the left side. I may not replace the other side. I don't really feel the need to, but that's up to you. So here we go. All right guys, that's what this will look like. So it's gonna go basically in between the spacer and the actual peg, and I'm gonna leave it loose until I finish installing, then we'll button everything up. All right guys, next step is to put on the headers. I'm gonna try not to touch them too much, and I'll wipe them down later so my fingerprints don't burn on them, but yep, that's what we're doing next. So here we go. Gotta get them up here. Oh, don't forget if you dropped any of those, don't forget to put them back. All right, let's go. Little pro tip. So what I did was, because it's hard to put these flanges on because they keep sliding down, what I do is I put these little tie wraps, and before I should have took a video before I did it, but before I mount it, I kind of tie wrap the tie wraps kind of high with the, you know, behind the plate, so the plates don't keep falling down. So as you see, I got 3 on there. So I just kind of put the plate far up to the front, then I put the tie wrap, and then as I'm like kind of manhandling this through, the plates don't slide all the way down to the bottom because it's kind of a pain in the butt. And then what happens is that those little header gaskets will fall down. So what I do is I just put, this is just what I do. I just put a little dab of grease on like 2 sides of that header gasket I was showing you earlier, that gold ring. Just 2 little dabs, and I just press it onto the engine block, and it just kind of stays. Now I know once I turn it on, it's gonna stink and burn, but that's okay, because it's hard to have those 3 on there, hold these flanges from moving around, and at the same time, as you can see, limited space. Reach your hand in here and at least start the threads. So I've been coming in through this way. As you can see, my hand got a little scratched up, but going in this way and squeezing my hand through and kind of getting them in there, but they're all in there now. So I'm just gonna tighten it up. Not super tight, but kind of tight. Just kind of snug it down just enough, and then continue on. All right guys, next step is to install this. We got a bracket here that's gonna mount up to here. So I'm gonna figure out, since now I got them all mixed up, my bad, which screws go where, but definitely this is gonna go into here, these 3 holes, into this header, into the one piece. I gotta put the O2 sensor and continue on from there. Alright guys, so I actually removed the baffle, which is this piece here. And actually, when you get this, it's actually installed inside the housing, or inside this space here. And all it has is just this little tiny, I believe that's a 4mm screw, which is right here. And I just removed it because I'm not gonna use the baffle. Up to you. The noisier, the better for me. I just like the way it sounds, so I took it out. Easiest way to do it, in my opinion, without trying to get some needle nose pliers and pulling them out and getting it all scraped up inside and scratching this lip here, which I've done before. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. It's just the way I do it. I just unscrew it, and actually from this side, I just use this shovel handle, and I just stick the shovel handle, through this side here, where it kind of bumps up against the inside of the baffle, and I just kind of, boosh, and it comes out. That's just the easiest for me. You do what you want, but it's harmless, doesn't hurt anything, and it was pretty quick. All right, so I put this on. I got that all tidied up. I used the actual screw that came with the Akrapovic. I got the spring. There's a spring on both sides. Kind of a pain in the butt. I use those channel locks. It's the easiest way to do it. And now I'm fixing to put this on, so we shall continue. Alright guys, before I cinch this all down, I got the washer. So the carbon's both sides are gonna go on the outside of this bracket, is what the instructions say. I am going to then put the thread locker on the inside of this so it doesn't come out. I'm also going to put the springs on real quick before I cinch this down, just in case I gotta move it or whatever the case may be. But I just tend to tighten everything up last, so I have to tighten this up, and this is already tight, which I shouldn't have done that, but oh well. And then I'm going to tighten down the header bolts, and we shall see what this baby sounds like. Let's go! Alright guys, so far, mission accomplished as far as installation. There she is there. That bolt's tightened up. I'm fixing to do the header bolts. Put back the radiator bracket, which could be a pain, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to clean all this up, wipe it all down so I don't get no fingerprints on there. And we shall do the cold start with the new Akrapovic exhaust systems. All right, guys, here it is, the 2021 MT09 with the Akrapovic. I think it's called the Racing Series exhaust, or R Racing Series exhaust. Not too sure. It's posted on cyclegear.com if you want to go check it out. That's where I got it. Shipped to my house 3 days, so not bad. Definitely got lucky because I called on Saturday, I think. They told me that the order would go in Monday, so here it is. I got it last night and I installed it today. So honestly, I'm kind of OCD, so about a 2-hour install. If I was a little more comfortable and maybe a little more skills involved, like I probably did it in an hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes. But I like to take my time, do things right. So basically about a 2-hour install. And as you can see, it is looking mighty, mighty fine. So got those all installed. Definitely looks really clean compared to, look at this. I mean, compared to this big Dumba, I don't know what the heck this thing is. And it just looked ugly. I mean, that's pretty much brand new from the factory. It was just, I got stuck in the rain, but I don't really think that did all that. But yeah, just not a really good looking exhaust. I know they have, emissions control and all that stuff, but here she is. She is looking legit. I mean, super slim, clean line, and just made the bike look totally different. With the R1, I have the Kaufman exhauster out of California, and they have been good to me, man. I mean, that exhaust definitely is a sleeper. I mean, I know most people some people haven't even heard of the name, but once they hear it, they ride next to me, and they see the performance of this baby, they definitely like it. But in this case, I decided to go with the Akrapovic on this bike because it was a complete system, front to back, and I just love the way it looked on the internet, so I went ahead and did that. So here we go. We're gonna do a cold start. I mean, yeah, definitely we're gonna do a cold start. I already did the cold start on the I already did the cold start on the stock exhaust. Now we're gonna do it with the new Akrapovic. So let's check this out. But the sun is straight up in the air and it is hot, especially when you're working in the garage. Definitely pretty hot. Well, there you guys go. Little tutorial on the MT09. Ooh, now that you can see the lights from TST Industries, check out those babies with the little white halos glowing. Go definitely good with the front. Oh man, just TST does it right, man. It's just no ifs or buts about it. Check out with the directional. So the halo will cancel out and it'll just blink normal, and then once you reset it, the halo kicks back in. So basically turn off, halo comes back on. So definitely beautiful parts. So guys, I'm happy, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.